scalping versus swing trading, position trading. So I've changed my mind on this a little bit. I'm starting to see the pros and cons. I've been super negative on scalping and day trading, but I'm seeing more of a balance between these two things. So we're gonna get into it. Welcome in, traders. Much love, Trav here. I'm on my way back. I just drove in to. I'm on Oahu. I did a lot of agriculture work, and there's some government program where they gave me, if you worked for an hour in agriculture during COVID, they give you $600. So I drove in for $600. Took me a couple hours to do that, and it's funny, I made $800 scalping this morning in 40 minutes. And I had a video of most of that, a $500 win, and then there was a $300 win after that, but it's up on my, it is on my YouTube. So I've gotten into scalping a bit, and I really like it. I really like it. There's some really positive things I like about it. So I'm going to talk about the positives. Now, I'll just start with the negatives, though. The negatives are it's possible to lose a lot of money in a short period of time. There's a lot of random noise on the low time frame. And a lot of the big money, if you want to make big money, it's easier to make big money by holding for bigger moves. And in theory, if you swing trade, it's not very time intensive. You might need to check in every day, but you don't need to check in for very long. But you might need to check in at a certain time. So most of my trading, I've done both. I've done all kinds of trading, but my flagship system is the swing trading trend following system. That's the one with the link down below that has computer back testing that goes back 100 years. And if it's such a good system, why do I want to scalp, right? Well, we're going to talk about that. There's not really any problem with the system. It's an awesome system, but so the first thing is we're going to talk about is scheduling. So with swing trading, a trend following, or if you're trading a high time frame, for me, I have to trade the daily chart, right? So the daily closes at 12 p.m. or 11 a.m. for stocks and Forex and commodities, and it closes at 2 p.m. for crypto. And if I'm in a swing position, I need to check for a signal at that time, and I also need to come in and advance my stop at that time, and sometimes see it if I exit. The problem is I'm not always available at 11 a.m. or 2 p.m. and I don't want to be, because I don't want to trade full time. I started a hiking private adventure tour business. I got tours the next 2 days. I'm not going to be around at 2 p.m. or 11 a.m. I'm going to be with people, and I'm trying to start another job, part-time work. That's a business I own. I'm trying to start part-time doing dolphin tours off West Oahu, or marine biology tours. So I'm trying to start on that. I'm not going to be available, right? So I've already had it where I'm in a swing position and I miss an exit because I just don't check in, or I maybe see the signal, but I don't have time to look at it that close. I'm too busy, right? So that's one of the problems with swing trading, or I would say a requirement is you need to give it time every day. It doesn't need to be a lot of time. It can only be 15 minutes, 30 minutes. And it shouldn't be more. But you need to be available for it. Now, scalping is a bit different, where scalping is more time intensive. It's more like grinding for money, which for me also, we'll come back to that psychologically, okay? But for scalping, you do need to be there. It's more hands-on, right? You're more making an hourly wage. But when you're done with your scalp, you don't need to log in the next day if you don't want to, right? You can go on vacation, you can make a bunch of money, and you can take the next 2 days off, or you can take the whole week off. You don't need to check in. So, and you can scalp at any time. It doesn't need to be the open. I mean, the best time to scalp would be New York open. I can't do that in Hawaii. It's at 3 a.m. I'm asleep. I'm not going to get up for that. I scalp the dead hours. I like it. It's a bit slower, but you trade bigger to make up for it. And I find that the commissions where I trade is not much. I mean, the commission for opening and closing one Bitcoin where I trade is like $10. So an average win or loss might be $500 or $1,000. And my fee is like $10. It's nothing. It's way better than Forex. Forex is crazy fees. Crypto is awesome as a way to scalp. So the scheduling, I kind of like that because I don't like having to check. I don't like being in a trade and knowing the next day. Sometimes it affects my sleep, or I come back and I check late at night and all of a sudden I get sucked in, or I check first thing in the morning. With scalping, I just can make myself as fresh as possible. I'm not in any trades. Come in and try to make a win. So that's something I like about scalping, is the scheduling is actually more flexible than swing trading. Although in theory it's more time intensive. But I mean, today I made $800 in 40 minutes and I called it. I said, I'm done. That's good enough for me today. Right? It doesn't always work like that. You lose. Now the psychology. There's a couple of psychological things. First, I like to watch my trades, and watching swing trades, and there's nothing you can do about them, just leads to me making errors and making mistakes. And also to me, I have a lot of anxiety when I'm watching a trade and I don't feel like I'm in control of it. When I'm scalping, I feel like I'm in control of the trade. I'm not in control of the market, but I'm in control of the trade. If I don't like it, I can immediately get out. If I start losing money, I can immediately get out. If it's moving in my favor, I can take the profit. And you get paid for watching. And there's part of my brain and my psychology where I believe in hustling for money. I'm a hustler. I'm recording YouTube. I'm putting out courses. I'm coaching. I'm starting a hiking business. I'm doing this other thing, right? And scalping, it just makes sense to me, where if I lose the first trade, I can take the second trade. I can make almost any day a winner, because there's so many opportunities when scalping of just the low volatility, getting in and getting out. So psychologically, I kind of like it, where I was a professional Magic the Gathering player. I play basketball on a weekly basis. I'm a 3-point shooter. I play other games. I like to have a high win percentage. What I'm experiencing with scalping is I'm feeling it's possible for not necessarily to win every other trade, but we'll come back to that too. It's possible to win almost every day if I'm willing to just take something. Whereas with my best swing trading system, which makes a lot of money, the win rate is typically around 50%. So I'm still going to lose half my trades. And a lot of the time, the trade will go against you and your favor and against you for your favor. It's possible with scalping to have your account grow every day, which it's so much better for my psychology. Now there's problems with it, and we'll look at that, but is it possible to win every trade? Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about my scalping system. So, I used to think scalping was super fucking random, and it's just gambling. I've changed my approach, and one of those reasons is I uploaded a video about the 100% win rate trader, Mark Weinstein, who in thousands of trades over 3 years only lost 17 trades. Well, I don't know how big those trades were compared to his wins, but he won an options trading contest, and the books were looked at. This is verified, where over 3 months, I don't know how many trades he took over 3 months, but he took a $100,000 account into a $900,000 account in 3 months with 100% winning trades. It didn't lose any trades. How was he trading? Primarily intraday scalping for quick profits. So yeah, I've just changed my belief and realized that it's possible to have a very high win percentage scalping, and also especially in the dead hours outside of New York, because New York's awesome, but in New York you have these big moves and breakouts, and when you scalp the dead hours, nothing happens. Every breakout fails, so you can trade failed breakouts to a near 100% win rate. And I'm talking failed breakouts on taking an old hourly high and it just ranges back, goes back into the middle of the range, and you can just scalp a small piece. So let me talk about my scalping setup a little bit. So I'm using two screens. I have my monitor and I have my phone. So the phone, I can execute the trades on my phone. Now I'm not phone trading or phone charting outside of when I'm on my computer, but it's a little bit faster than switching between going from screen to screen. And maybe I'll get another screen, but oftentimes I move my workstation as I'm streaming or trading. It's just hard to take. Okay, I've got a Logitech TrackMan, which is, I trading StarCraft. Played StarCraft growing up and got very good at that. APM, having a high APM. My APM was like, it got into the hundreds, and I think this is one of the advantages. I feel like I'm trained to scalp. It fits my psychology. I've got the StarCraft's way harder. You're going between screens, going back and forth, moving super fast. It's not that stressful. It's because you're active, and it's more like I'm playing a video game. I want to turn trading just into a video game that I consistently win. I don't see any reason why not. Okay. Anyways, back to the scalping methodology. So I have my screen. The first thing I do is I check the dailies of everything. And the biggest thing, I will take a swing trade or a position trade if we're hitting a monthly level, potentially. That would be a higher conviction trade. Also, I might hold a bit longer if we're hitting a weekly level, for the first time. An untapped weekly high or low, an untapped monthly high or low. So I'm checking all the indices, gold, silver. I don't check DXY, and I check the majors in crypto: Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, XRP, BNB. Total 3 others: BTC.D, ETH.D, ETH.BTC, and others.D. So I'm just checking the state of the market. So after the daily, I go check the funding rate for crypto, because I want to see, is everybody short? Then I need to look for longs. Is everybody long? Then I need to look for shorts. Is it even? Then I can trade longs and shorts and just look for reversals. Okay. Now, I'm putting on my chart, all I have is weekly and daily levels. I have a high volume candle detector, which will give a little indicator when there's a really high volume candle, which oftentimes it's either leading to a breakout or oftentimes a reversal when there's a high volume candle that comes in, especially with the wick. So I have that on my chart. So literally just weekly, monthly levels, high volume candles. And then at the bottom, I also like to look at a relative strength and weakness comparer, which shows me, and I'm comparing against the total crypto market cap. So for that is, when I look at Bitcoin, ETH, BNB, XRP, and I may add one or two to that, and sometimes other ones come into play based on volume, but I want to trade the strongest one, or I want to trade the weakest one, right? So for instance, today, Bitcoin dominance is up. That's one way to look. ETH/BTC is down, and I look at the relative strength comparing Bitcoin to the total market cap, and Bitcoin is above even. So now if I'm looking for longs, I want to long Bitcoin is the strongest one. Or I could see that BNB is negative on relative strength. So if I'm looking for shorts, I want to short that one. Okay, so asset selection. So the high time frame levels are telling me if I want to swing a bigger trade here, or if there's a bigger opportunity where I want to spend more time or trade higher risk, expect more volatility, or try to hold a piece for longer. or if I just want to swing trade them. And if we're not there, then I'm looking at the funding rate to tell me if I want to be long only, short only, or either. And then I'm scanning through relative strength to find the strongest one to long if it's longs, and the weakest one's to short. And then for entries, I actually like to go replay back an hour just so I can see, because maybe I miss an entry that happened, and it's okay for me to jump in a little bit later, because if I have an idea, I'm confident where price is going. But really, for an entry, I'm just looking for a sweep. So a local sweep. It could be a poke into an old 1 hour fair value gap. Could be a sweep of an old hourly low, hourly high. It can be a pretty low time frame, but ideally there's a high volume candle that comes in too. But I'm just looking for a little local entry, and that's good enough. So ideally I get in immediately, and then I might put my stop down before the next level or after the next level. And then I may add on one time. I have a half position and I add a full position once. The half position is at the good entry, and the full position is when it looks like it's going to work. And then target, I'm typically targeting just around an old high or low. So if I get in at the low, I'm just targeting like the high of the previous hour. Something super simple. But it also could be, depending on it, if it immediately just rockets to my position, I may just close it in 2 minutes and take something. So, yeah, that's the system. And what I've experiencing it seems possible to be a super high win rate with a positive risk reward, and possible to win most days. Now, it is possible to lose, and it's possible to lose big, especially if you go off the rails, which can happen. So psychological and emotional control is possible, but I've had days where I've gone into like, $1,000 or $2,000 drawdown and just trade 5-6 hours. By the end of the day, I'm positive, and I'm not raising the risk. I'm risking the same thing, maybe $500, $600 on a trade, make 400, make 800, break them into smaller trades. But yeah, my experience is, man, I've done scalping, dedicated scalping sessions back, and it had been years. I haven't done very much. I just started doing it, and I'm surprised how much I liked it and how good I am. It felt like I'm pretty good at this. Yeah, and it's correcting a lot of negative problems, because a problem that I have in my swing trading often is I take the signal immediately, but I don't get a good entry, and then I'm uncomfortable holding through retracement, so I exit it. And then, or the swing position is working, and I add on to it at a local level that would be a scalp reversal, actually. So now I've made my position huge, and it's retracing against me, and I'm giving up my un-PNL pretty fast, and then I panic out. So what I'm finding is, if I practice scalping, I expect it's going to help me with my swing trading, where now it will either help me break the trade into a few pieces and compound, or will help me get a better initial entry, and it will help me maybe have a partial TP to compound or to reduce risk instead of adding on at the worst place, so I can hold through the pullback. So yeah, I'm playing around with it. I'm going to get back into swing trading when it makes sense to me, if I see a really excellent entry. But for now, part of the reason is the system went into exited the market, where there was a big round of awesome winning shorts, and then after the winning shorts, there's longs, but they're under the 200 moving average, and I don't really, I care more about capital conservation and trading. I don't want to trade long under the 200 moving average. If you make it a rule to not, you avoid being long during the bear markets. So yeah, when it comes to capital preservation, watching the trade is super helpful, honestly. Where if I'm in a trade and it's overnight and then the next day and then I'm doing other things and I don't really have a chance to check in, or if I do, I can't give it my full attention. I like the idea of just coming in when I'm 100% fresh and giving it my total focus. And yeah, if I can make $800 in 45 minutes, I do that consistently, trade a couple of days a week, and then yeah, as I get more confident, increase the number and also get better, where maybe I make, $1,000 in a session. I'm done for the day. I'm gonna go do something else, right? So yeah, it's moving away from the home run mentality of trying to, my account bleeds down and then doubles, and then it bleeds down and then it doubles, and then, what if it just, psychologically, I like the idea of just every day's a win, so let me focus on that. Okay, hope you find this helpful. Appreciate you. Much love. Peace.